Hello and welcome to Wait for Real.
A true crime and paranormal podcast. I'm Grace,
And I'm Katie.
and we're determined to do this in one take.
And as we were doing the opening, I was like, wait, do I say it's Wait for Real? Or does she say it's Wait for Real? But I was like, I'm going with it. Okay, she's kept us. One time, you guys probably remember, one time I just said the entire intro myself. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
You did, and I was like, that's fine. Save me some work.
Yeah, I'm like, you didn't like stop me at all. You were like, okay, yeah, hell
Just let
yeah.
it happen.
Yeah,
We're wearing our matching hats today.
we
If
are.
you're watching on the YouTube,
Yes.
you can see it. I also just came from the gym, which is why I look like a dead body. But, I thought it was fitting for the episode. Dead
We
bodies.
love to see it.
Yeah, I know. I was like, Katie, your makeup looks so nice. And I'm like, can't relate.
I think you still look great. And you're wearing a great shirt. Show them your shirt.
Yes. It says, don't tell me
To smile.
to smile. Well, I got friggin' Chipotle on it earlier, so I shouldn't have shown that much.
She was dropping Chipotle all over the place.
All over my cat, my poor cat. I mean, she ate it, so she's fine.
She loved it. She was like,
Yeah,
this
she was
is what I
living the
live
dream.
for? Yeah. This is it.
She was.
Wait, I have to bring something up. Okay. We talked
Okay.
about the Brian Koberger taking the plea, and we did not do it justice because I found out more about it.
Oh,
So
yes, please
it
tell
was
me.
not the state that offered the plea deal. He went to the state. Like the
With
defense
his-
went to.
Can you? I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. So like when in the U.S. when someone's charged, let's say you're charged with a crime, petty theft. Sorry, grand theft.
Thank you.
We'll give you some credit. And you hire a defense attorney, private. Well, it doesn't have to be, but let's just say you hire a defense attorney, and then that's why it takes so long to go to trial because the defense and the prosecution is usually going back and forth, and the defense will say, "Well, can you do 1 year probation
Oh, okay.
and drop it down? You know, whatever it is that they want to do." So
Yeah.
it's not unusual, but I think it's weird that he went to the prosecution because he just doesn't seem like the type, and the families are not happy.
Oh, I know, which is so sad.
Yeah.
I was gonna say somebody just sent me a link to an episode that covers the case.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, are you guys going to cover this? And I was like, probably not, to the extent that these people are covering it. Like, these people are doing some fucking deep fucking dives.
It would need to be like a multi-part series that was like
Mhm.
something we did over the holidays or something like that's like what we did with John Benet Ramsey. Like we
Yeah.
both study the case and then we both talk
Just
about
like Ray
it.
Rivera. I want to bring it back.
I know we can.
Nothing's changed, I don't think.
Doesn't matter.
I'm on his Reddit thread. Nothing's
Yeah, you're
moved.
right. You're right. You would know. You would know.
I
Grace will be
am.
the first to report on it.
I know. But yeah, it seems like the families are upset, which I don't blame them, and the guy's still a piece of shit. So
Yes. Yes.
that's my take on everything.
I agree. That's correct. That's a correct take.
Yes. So I feel like, was there any other true crime news or any news that I was thinking to save to tell you? No, probably not. Let's be real.
It's so hard when you like see stuff in between recording and then we
Yep.
come to record and I forget anything that's happened before.
Oh yeah,
Like
like
a
I don't even know
vortex.
what I had for breakfast this morning. It's
Yeah,
like we
I'm
get to
like,
recording
this
and I'm like,
is-
did I just eat Chipotle? Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know anything. I don't remember anything. I know we can take notes, by the way. It's just we don't. So
Oh god, that's so much work.
I know.
Who does that in this economy? God damn.
Not us.
Not us, as you guys can probably tell.
Yes.
Anyways, so what are we doing for this week's episode?
We are doing haunted stories,
Ooh.
ghost stories. I don't know why I called it haunted stories, but dorm hauntings. If you look at the top of our doc, it says form hauntings because it autocorrected. But
When she says dorm, she means like dormitories.
yes, college
That's
dorms.
like a hard word to hear sometimes. When you
Yeah.
say it like dorm.
Dorm. Yeah.
Anyways.
DORM.
Oh, in this case, form.
Form. Okay, I am gonna give you odd numbers. You're gonna start.
Okay. So I just get right into it.
I'm just gonna dive right in.
All right. Here we go from form hauntings. Sorry, I'm never going to let you live this down.
Amazing.
All right. It says freshman year of college, and I was visiting my friend Catherine at the University of Georgia in Athens. She lived in Brumby at the time, a girls' dorm. Being underage, we spent our night smoking pot and goofing off in her room with her next door neighbor and another girl, Danielle, who had also gone to high school with Catherine and I. The night was typical until Catherine's roommate joined us. She'd just come back from the shower. They were communal, so one for each floor, and said, "You guys have to come with me. There's a girl singing in the showers, and she has the most beautiful voice." First of all, immediately thinking of Harry Potter. Anyways,
Yes.
having nothing else to do, we obliged. And just as she said, there was almost the most lovely singing coming from one of the showers. There were 20 or so showers lined up in the two walls, but only one of them had water running. Pertinent details. The shower curtains were such that they could not be closed, even if pulled tightly as possible. There was always an inch or two uncovered on either side. They were almost see-through and also quite short, so you were going to see at least ankles if anyone was in there. Side note, what pervert what pervert designed these? True. There were also no speakers or ventilation system to be seen except for the drains in the floor. The point of all of this detail is to tell you that although there was a single shower going with the curtain closed, there was no one in that shower stall or any of the other ones.
Nope.
We looked, and all the while this girl is still singing beautifully, the voice reverberating from that one shower. Upon this realization, all of us looked at each other utterly spooked. A moment later, Danielle darted out of the bathroom as fast as a champion sprinter. The rest of us followed her a few seconds later, though not at a run. Upon reaching the dorm room, we found Danielle sitting on the bed, shaking and chain smoking with an ashtray in front of her. We pressed her as to why she ran. She says that was Tracy's voice. She always used to sing. She's been following me around. I saw her at the creek the other day for just a second and then she disappeared. I swear it was her voice. Tracy was in our junior high school class with us, but she died in a hiking accident the summer before our senior year. It says the names have been changed to protect stoners and the introverted.
Amazing. That is quite scary.
What's the girl in Harry Potter? What's her name?
Why
Moaning
would you?
Myrtle.
I was like, why would you do this to
That's
me? I
like
was
what I'm
not
still stuck
prepared
on.
for
Like,
any questions today, Grace.
sorry. No more questions allowed from the gallery.
That's right. Okay. Our second story starts recently. The college I attend has announced it will be demolishing the dorm I live in within the next year. The dorm building was first built in the 1960s, and I live in a suite style setup where that's crazy, six total girls share a living area but have separate rooms. A
Oof.
couple days after the announcement was made, we started experiencing weird activities within our rooms and the suite. The first event was when my roommate woke up with unexplained scratches on her body. She woke up with the scratches on her hands, but she is certain they are not self-inflicted due to her nail condition. She had acrylic nails and is positive she could not scratch herself in her sleep with them, which is true because they're kind of like thicker.
I'm like, wait.
Yeah, I was like, look at your nails.
I was like, I have acrylic nails on. That's probably true. You can't scratch to that extent.
Not the same that you would with if it was just your natural nail.
Yeah.
The next event happened the next day at 1 p.m. There were about four girls sitting in the suite area. We have a futon and chairs. We have a shelf in this living room area that has a welcome sign along with other knickknacks. The window was not open and we were all sitting down chatting. One of our friends began to speak, and the welcome sign, along with a few other items, were thrown onto the floor.
Nope.
Yeah, right. That one friend should never speak again. No, I'm just kidding. The main welcome sign was surrounded in a wooden frame, but then when we picked it back up, the frame was broken into pieces. We rearranged the shelf with the items again and went about our business. One of our suite mates complained of waking up in the middle of the night to the feeling of someone in the bed with her. However, that would send me over the edge. I'd be like, I gotta move out, guys. It was so nice. It says, however, she lives in a single. When she would roll over, she would find no one there. Oh, no.
Nope.
The third incident happened was when I was back from one of my classes alone. It was about noon, and I was sitting at the desk working on some homework, and I heard a loud clap come from the suite. And when I walked out, those same items had been knocked to the ground again. I put them back up, and here is where we all started to get suspicious. This is where you get suspicious?
It took this long. It took
Yes.
someone cuddling you in your bed.
Yes. Later that evening, we were out in the suite again, messing around. At about 10:30 p.m., one of our friends began posing for Snapchat pictures, and she went to post one of them and noticed an orb-like figure next to her leg. The most recent event happened this morning, March 2nd, 2018, at about 12:10 a.m. I had gotten into bed and began falling asleep. At this point, I was just barely awake, but I began to hear shuffling around and thought it was just my roommate or someone else. The shuffling was enough to wake me completely. It
Nope.
sounded as though something was in my closet messing with my clothing. It then turned into a scraping noise on the closet door.
Oh, it
I
ceased
was
to exist.
Yes, I was so scared. I couldn't move. We all think this is extremely weird, but don't know what to think of it. We had told friends of ours about what was going on, but people mostly laughed it off. Any suggestions on how to handle the problem would be greatly appreciated. I'm not pleased that we're doing this in the evening.
Same, but also I'm not pleased with the fact that they were like, any suggestions? Bitch, move.
Yeah, get out of there. I
Because
mean, it sounds
whatever
like
that
they're.
is, it doesn't sound that friendly though.
No, I don't think it's
Oh, I
going to
thought you
be.
were gonna say it sounded friendly.
No, I was going to say they're going to demolish the building, it sounded like. But I mean, I guess, that people are haunted, not places. So
I also want to know what the story is like of the
behind
building.
it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of these people will be like, I didn't research this, but great.
Mood. Well, I did learn that in the state of Florida, you do not have to disclose if somebody was murdered in the house before you sell it.
Yeah, a lot of houses are like that.
I know, but
I mean, a
like,
lot of states.
what's the rules on dorm rooms, you know?
Oh, they don't have to tell you shit.
I was gonna say, because when I was in college, there was like, I think 2 or 3 people that died in the dorm rooms while I was in college.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but like, I mean,
No, no, no.
when you're a freshman in college, like, some kid's gonna drink too much, some kid's gonna do too many drugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Maybe that is
You're like, it's
morbid.
par
Yeah,
for the course.
yeah. I'm like, that's college.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right. So now the next one. I see you just added a letter back to make it.
Yes.
She had pasted or copied it, missing some letters.
Yes.
It says, if you want to go to any place that is haunted, just go to the small city of Savannah, Georgia. Facts.
Yep. We've
Been
been there.
there, done that. It's
Yes.
spooky.
Yes.
It's teeming with haunted life. You can't escape it when you're there. Every square inch of that city is haunted, and it makes sense since it's one of the oldest towns in the United States. The locals would knowingly live side by side with these spirits as if they were residents nonchalantly. I once saw an object move on its own next to a cashier, and he just casually moved it back and said, "Hey, ghost of Kevin, stop moving my stuff already." The
Sounds like
city,
you,
it does.
Daniel.
I know, we'll talk about Daniel at the end.
Okay.
But yeah, because obviously that's literally me with Daniel.
Yes.
It says the city even thrives off its paranormal attractions with bus and nightly tours. Also us.
Mm-hmm.
We did do a tour.
We did.
I went to college there as a hard skeptic to come out of it a total believer. And it says in parentheses, fun fact, my first dorm was formerly a coffin factory. That's how weirdly,
Great.
I don't know how to say this one word.
Macabre.
The fuck does that mean?
Like dark, spooky,
Ooh, love
or
that.
macabre.
Okay, anyways, this little city can be. I would not live in a building that used to be a coffin factory. Sorry.
I don't know, Grace. You said you'd never stay in a haunted
I
hotel
know,
room,
but
and then
that's
you
messed
asked.
up. But to live there?
I know. I
We
wouldn't.
did we did 2 nights in that haunted hotel and we were both traumatized both nights.
Yeah, I never want to do that again.
Yeah, 0 out of
Cue,
10 would not recommend.
cue to us on our next trip where
Yeah,
we
right.
definitely stay in a haunted hotel
We're like in
again.
the Stanley Hotel.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, back to what we were getting at. It says, I had many ghost stories from that city in my 4 years there, but I'll tell one of them that still gives me the creeps to this day. One night at my dorm, I woke up around 2 a.m. and I needed to use the bathroom. As I went across the hall to go, I saw someone at the corner of my eye coming out of their room and started walking towards the other bathroom on that side. I didn't think much of it and thought it was my dorm mate who just happened to go at the same time. She tends to stay up really late to finish assignments anyhow. I did my business and started to walk back, only to see her walking back like me. I turned to look and wave at her, but stopped dead in my tracks. And so did this person. The girl wasn't my dorm mate. She had red hair, pale features, and she was wearing this large t-shirt that covers her down to her knees. What's extremely eerie is the fact that she stopped at the same time when I turned to look at her, but she wasn't looking at me. She was looking right towards the room where my dorm mate would be. I started to wonder if the door leading to the bathroom had opened to begin with. I got tense and quickly went into my room and shut the door and locked it. It took me a moment and I decided it was just late night fogs and I imagined it, or it was a friend of hers. Um, However, my door started to violently shake. Oh my God, I just got chills
No,
reading that.
I
Chills.
would be out.
Someone was trying to open the door in a hurry. I was startled and I called out to my dorm mate if that was her. There was no answer. I decided to open the door and see that no
That would
one
for
was there.
sure be me. That would for sure be me.
I would
I'd
not
be
open
like,
that door.
I know you wouldn't.
I would
I
not
know
open that
you
fucking
wouldn't.
door. It says, I felt freaked out, of course, but I just wanted to think that it was just my mind playing tricks with me and then playing a prank, or I was just fatigued. I eventually went back to sleep, but I was awoken again by something unknown. I felt something wasn't right. I was about to turn my lamp back on, turn my lamp back on until I saw something out of the corner of my eye again, and it was in the front of my door in my room. Obviously, I was scared now, and I thought it was a good idea to look right at where I supposedly saw someone, and I did. It
Fuck.
was the same girl staring at me, and she had these terrifying, sad, pitch black eyes. I yelled in shock and switched the lamp on to find her gone after. It wasn't long until my dorm mate in my hall came out and asked if I was okay. I was confident enough to tell her what I saw, but she didn't know what to think, and I couldn't go back to sleep that night. Later, I decided to ask my dorm mate across the hall about what happened. When I described it to her, she immediately froze and looked a little scared herself. She told me I saw her too. To be honest, I did some research on my own time about any significant hauntings in our dorm. I found a case where a female student committed suicide in my room where I stay in. And it says in parentheses, sadly, there was cases of students committing suicide notoriously, so every year attending this college. It says, to this day, it makes the hairs on the back of my neck or the back of my head stand just thinking about it. But I do hope that the spirit finds peace.
That is so fucking scary.
One, I'm I'm trying to picture if I was in this position, like you see this girl like going back to your friend's room, like do you go tell your friend like, "Hey, you good?" Or do you like she ran into her room and locked the door. I would do that and then I would call you. I'd be like, "Hello, hello, hello, there's something outside your room."
No, I'd for sure intervene. Like if you
Once
were
the
in that
door's
room,
closed, game over.
no, I know, but like if you were in that room and I was like standing in the hall and there's some random girl out there, well, first I'd be like, "Can I help you?" You know what I mean? I'd be like, "Hello,
You're like,
like
"You're
what
not
is
Grace's
happening?"
friend."
Yeah, and then I'd be like, "Are you?" And then if they started walking toward, I would at least scream so that you would wake up.
Jesus Christ, you know I
I'm
wouldn't.
like, "Well, I can't let her go into your room."
We're just about to be cuddling. You're gonna come into my room. It's just on the little spoon.
Yes, yes. You probably still wouldn't wake up. I'd have
No,
to
I
tell you
wouldn't.
about it in the morning.
You'd wake up and you'd be like crying, and I'd be like, "What's up? I slept like a baby."
I'm like, that's so great.
No,
Oh.
for me, once the door closes, like, and you lock it, and then it starts to shake. No, nope, nope.
If I had gone into my own room and shut the door and that started happening, I'd wake you up by any means necessary. I'm calling you every 20. I am literally throwing alarms against the wall. Like I'm doing whatever I have to do so that you have to suffer with me, bitch. I'm like,
Yeah,
no, get over here.
that's so true. Especially when we stayed at the Port Townsend, that hotel
I
or
hate that hotel.
castle, the
No,
Manresa Castle.
it's a great hotel. I mean, yeah, whatever.
But Katie was like, "I'm fucking waking you up if anything feels
But
weird."
then something happened and I was too afraid to wake you
You
up.
were too afraid to like leave the bed, weren't you?
I got no, because when it happened, I literally got up. I was up out of the bed before I even realized it and like across the room. I cannot believe I didn't wake you up. So the room we
Where
were
in the
staying
room did you
in,
go to?
so you know how there was like the dining area?
Nuh-uh, you walked all the way over there?
I was literally flipped out of bed. Like I just rolled over, flipped out of bed. I was standing by those windows
Nope.
so fast.
Just like
And
me hiding in the bath.
yes. So what happened was, if you haven't listened to our Manresa episode, which maybe you shouldn't because we've been drinking, but the point is, it's a suite. It's a suite. You walk in, there's a bed right there, and then there's like a dining area with like bay windows, and then there's a bedroom. But the story goes that at night you can see the ghost of a man walking from the corner of the bedroom to the bathroom. So I made Grace. I was like, "You go in there. You get the
Yeah,
bedroom."
yeah.
So I thought it was safe, but alas, I was not.
Oh my god, I just don't
You were out. You were
Oh
out.
yeah, girl, I was in a different
Yeah.
dimension. And then the
Yeah.
next night I got traumatized
I
and I
know.
like couldn't get over it. I kept being like, "Are you sure?" Like,
I know. I know.
I was like
I
so afraid to put my feet down. I was like, something's gonna grab me again.
Yeah, I told Grace, I was like, that's when I said for the second night, I was like, if something happens, I'm just crawling into bed with you because,
Come and cuddle.
yeah, I'm like, I'm not staying out there.
I don't blame you. I really don't.
Scary.
That was a really traumatic 2 nights for us.
It
And
really
then the ghost
was.
pushed me down the stairs.
It got her.
That's my favorite story of the whole trip, guys. I ate shit and I tried to tell Katie it was the ghost that pushed me.
There was this elderly couple that like just happened to be walking by. Let's paint the picture. It's literally like one or two steps that she falls down, but fully onto her knees. Does not catch herself.
Yeah, like my. Well,
And then,
first of all,
no. I mean, how are you supposed to catch yourself? There was nothing
it's
there.
like both my feet just tucked underneath me and I went to a prayer position and just slid down the stairs.
And it was concrete. So I was thinking, like, oh my god, she's fucked. She definitely. Grace also, like, notoriously, like, breaks something on every trip she's
I
ever been on.
do. I
So
really
I was
do.
like, oh my god, we've made it this long, and she's finally broken something, like her kneecap or something insane.
But
And
that
this
old
old,
bitch.
yes, this elderly couple, she just stopped and stared and said, "Oh my," or something like
I
that.
just walked
Just,
away.
she just stood there staring at Grace. Nobody said like, "Oh, are you okay?"
Katie was
It's
traumatized.
like she's fine. Are you okay?
He's like, oh my god, did you bring something? Did you bring something? I'm like, no, I'm fine, I'm
You
fine.
did.
Because I was like, it's like one of those things where you're like, I just want to get out of here because I'm embarrassed. That's 100% what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But then we sat down and I felt fine and I was like very surprised. And then I was like, no, it was the ghost. That's why.
Yes.
The
Yes.
ghost pushed me.
I buy it. They said that place is haunted as fuck. Had that old ass elevator.
Oh, that was the scariest part of the whole trip, baby.
I really was excited about that.
The elevator?
Yeah.
What's with you and elevators?
Well, I don't like normal elevators, but I was like,
That's what I'm
that's cool.
saying.
I know.
It's cool to ride it until it breaks.
Yeah, but it didn't. We were just going up one floor. I'm just so
Listen,
glad that we didn't stay in one of those rooms that didn't have a bathroom. There's no way. There were like the room
I
that we were
forgot
originally
about that.
in, I think was like that. Like the room that was across
Yeah.
the hall from us, it's just a bedroom and then you have to go out.
It's like a communal bathroom.
No way, I'd be holding it.
That was
Or
worth every penny for us to have our own bedroom, but we also had the
yes.
scariest one, which I loved, but also hated
Yes.
at the same time.
Yes. Very haunted.
Really traumatic. So, anyways, love that for
Yep.
us. All right, you're
Mhm.
up for your next one.
Okay. To give a little background, I'm originally from Canada. Hey.
Canada.
However, I went to college in Texas. Why? For a scholarship. We all know the state of Texas is very religious, and I'm not at all. This will play into effect later. A bunch of my teammates and I decided to mess around with a Ouija board.
Nope.
One of the girls said she used to do it all the time and there wasn't any harm in it. That's a lie. Don't fuck with Ouija boards. So we decided to go to a graveyard that wasn't too far from us. Yes, I know. A Ouija board and a graveyard. Excellent choice. Sarcasm. We set everything up, the Ouija board and candles. The night was very warm and no wind. We all placed our hand on the planchette and started asking questions. We probably asked about 10 questions and nothing was happening. So one of the girls started saying, "This is bullshit and it's all fake, etc." As soon as she finishes saying that, the board starts moving and spells "get out." And suddenly the candles all blew out. I don't think we have
Oh, it
all
ceased
moved
to
as fast.
exist yet
Yes,
again.
we have all moved as fast as we did that night to get out of there. 2 days after that night, I started waking up at around 3 to 3:30 a.m.
Oh,
When I would
God.
wake up, I could see this dark figure in the corner of my dorm room, and I would stare at it, but it would never move. Then
Nope.
all of a sudden, I would have the urge to throw up. This happened for a week straight. I never told anyone about it because I didn't want anyone to worry. One night ended up going to one of the girls' hometowns since it was Thanksgiving, and when I walked into the door, I noticed a cross statue. It was beige and made out of ceramic. I suddenly had an urge to touch it, so I did. Mind you, I am a very non religious person, and for me to suddenly get an urge to touch a cross is very out of the ordinary. However, once I did that, I felt a million times better, like a weight had been lifted off my chest. Ever since that day, I have never encountered the shadow figure again. Any thoughts on why it attached itself to me?
I wonder if they got religious after that.
Probably not, but
I don't know.
it was definitely like something demonic. I mean, whatever was in the cemetery or graveyard, whatever they called it,
It
they
was
took it
coming to
home
hang
with
out.
them. Yeah.
100%. 100%. Nope.
Scary.
No, thank you. All right, next one. My last year of college at Dean College in 2013. I'm now. It says I'm now 30, so it was a few years ago. I've always believed in ghosts, but the experiences confirm it for me. I lived in a dorm that used to be someone's home. It was a great place. However, the basement always gave
Wait,
me the
stop, stop,
creeps.
stop, stop. What is he doing?
What's wrong?
He just started, he's like looking at something in the kitchen right now. Archie, I
Is
hate,
he still doing it?
I don't know. I heard something though. But
What's he
like,
doing? What's Archie doing?
he's still staring. He's not perched up like that. No, I think it's nothing. It's that AC makes new noises, but I was like, oh my God, I'm scared, Grace.
You looking off into the distance just scared the absolute shit out of me.
I'm scared. I fucking heard something.
Do you want to go check?
Yeah, everybody, we're leaving this in because we're doing this in one take.
Yeah,
Actually,
so
don't look
why
at my
not?
legs.
She puts her
You
camera.
guys stay here.
Wait, you're attached by your headphones. Take your
I know,
headphones
I know, I
off.
know. Oh shit, that was probably so loud. I'll cut that out. Okay, BRB.
No, we're leaving this in, guys. You're getting the full unedited version. And you'll see in the video, if you watch it on YouTube, her cat was like perched up staring into the distance. And she's badass because she's going to look at what it was. I would have simply ceased to exist. Okay, she's back. She survived,
Can't hear you guys yet.
hopefully. Oh God. Did you
Okay,
survive?
I did. Nothing was in there. I will say that last night that was scary.
What was
Um,
that noise?
that was a police siren.
Oh my God, I can't. There's too much happening for her in Canada.
I know. This is a very chaotic episode. Sorry about that, guys. I will mute the part where I slammed my headphones into the mic.
Oh, I'm leaving it.
Okay. Yeah, I love that.
Jump
Jump scare
scare.
for everybody. But last night I woke up in the middle of the night, like just terrified, and my closet door was open, which usually it isn't. But I just attribute it to the air, the AC, like blew it open.
Or your cat would have fucked with the door. He fucks with all the
No.
doors, doesn't he?
No, he sleeps in the night and he was sleeping next to me and then also looked over there.
Katie, I was
But
trying to justify it.
the closet door isn't usually always shut all the way.
Oh,
So
okay.
so I think it just like the air pressure, the change in air
Just the
pressure.
air. Just the air. Yep,
Yeah.
100%. Is he still looking into the distance?
No, he's settled now. I really hate that.
Same. I
It's
hated the
scary.
way that he was perched.
I know. And he just like suddenly was like at attention and I was like,
I
what do
was
you see?
describing to everyone where you went. I was like, oh my God. So if you're watching this on YouTube, or maybe just listening. But, anyways,
Narrating our experiences. So far my TV is turned on by itself while we were recording. Archie's been weird.
yeah, you've got a lot going
I'm
on.
like, is my house haunted? I started feeling like weird yesterday, where I was like, set for the first time ever, I was like scared
You got to go buy some
about being here.
sage.
I know, I do. I need to.
Oh God,
Okay, I'll
guys, we're
report
falling
back to you
apart.
guys. I
All
know.
right,
I'm
keep us
sorry.
posted.
I
No, I've just,
derailed that.
it's totally fine.
But it's like, can you imagine if I just let you keep going and someone was in the apartment? I'm like, don't mind them. Come, can you come back later?
It sounds like the start of like one of those like funny, scary movies.
Yes, yes.
All right, so I got through 3 sentences of this story, but let's
Yeah,
keep
my bad.
going.
Okay.
No, you're good. So it said that they lived in a dorm that used to be someone's home. It was a great place. However, the basement always gave them the creeps, even though it was nicely furnished and a place for people to hang out. There is a door down there that is nailed shut and locked. No one knows why it was that way. I asked people, but they said they didn't know. First of all,
Hate that.
murder
Yeah.
den, 100%.
Yes.
I also had a short, somewhat creepy experience in my room, which used to be the dining room. I had some popcorn and a kernel fall onto the floor, and a minute later, it moved across the room on its own. There was no fan on or windows open. I swear it was like someone was moving it. The bathroom was also freaky. I felt like someone was watching me brush my teeth and shower. I hate that.
Mm-mm.
The last one is about my then boyfriend, who is Wiccan. He knows a lot about ghosts and spirits, etc. He stayed with me one night and said he heard voices from no one when no one was around or in the building. He heard a little girl's voice say, "I'm here," and he stayed around after that. So I went into the graveyard across the street and found a grave site of the family. And what do you know? They had a little girl that died around the age of 5.
Fuck no.
Also, when my roommate's boyfriend spent the night, I think he was possessed because in the middle of the night, he was standing at my bed staring at me
Fuck.
with this pissed off expression and 100% black eyes. I kid you not. I asked him why he did that the next morning and he did not remember. It was totally freaky. They handled that way too casually.
I know.
If a grown man is standing at the end of my bed with dark eyes, murder.
Yeah, no, if we lived together and your boyfriend was sitting at the end of my bed, I'd be like, he cannot come over ever again. That was
Like,
fucking
sorry, you
weird.
have to break up with him. I don't care if
Yes.
it was the demons or him. He's got to go.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't even have to break up with him, but you can't bring him here. And like, also, I'd be convinced that like he's just murderous, not
God, I fucking
possessed.
hate that.
Yeah,
0 out of 10. All
this is a
right.
spooky episode.
It is. And of course, it's getting dark out.
I know. Luckily, it doesn't get dark until 9 here, so I've got some time.
Aren't you
Not for
lucky?
you. Yes, I am.
All
Okay.
right.
This is about a year and a half ago, but I felt I should share my experience. I was living in an apartment complex in a college town with 3 roommates, and though there was really just 2 of us, my best friend and I. Okay. The other 2 guys were always gone back at their parents' home or work. After a few months of living at these apartments, nothing had really happened to us. We were just normal college students partying and doing schoolwork. But after 3 months, we started hearing scratching noises in the wall. We thought it was just rodents or neighbors or something along those lines, but then it got weird, as if that's not weird enough.
I was like, the scratching's
Um,
pretty weird.
yeah, I hate that. So one day, when it was just my best friend and me, we were playing Xbox in the living room. We paused and left the controller on the table in front of the couch. We also had a counter by the kitchen and a tall circular table in the corner on the other side of the room. We both go to the kitchen at the same time, and we hear the Xbox controller icon moving on the screen. The sound of the television makes when you are scrolling was going off. I hate this. We thought that was incredibly weird, but probably just the controlling stick. But when we got back to the living room, we found that the controller was now on the high top circular table.
Shut
We
up.
checked we checked the house to see if anyone was there and didn't find anyone. We would have seen anyone walking in because the only way in and out of the apartment is through the kitchen. That was really the first thing that happened. Next, I came home from class and I unlocked and walked into my room, turned on my television, and walked back out to talk to my best friend who was watching golf in the living room. I put in some food for lunch and walked back into my room and saw something incredibly weird. There was an imprint on my bed like someone was sitting there, but there was no one there. I reached out to try to touch it and it was incredibly cold, but as soon as I reached out, whatever was there disappeared and the imprint started to fade. I freaked out for a few days after this. I accused my friend of trying to scare me, but he was just as terrified as I was, and he was having experiences of his own. In his experiences, the paranormal was a little more forceful. He always came in from hanging out with people around 2 a.m., and he was going into his room when the door leading to his side of the apartment slammed shut in his face. This happened 3 to 4 times and then stopped. He also experienced things moving on their own in his room, like pictures falling over and posters being ripped off the wall.
Oh my God.
The scariest thing that happened was when we were watching an NBA game and we heard a loud crash coming from his room on his side of the apartment. We both were too terrified to go back there, fair, but I took my phone out and quickly took pictures to try to catch something on film, but nothing showed up. We both finally manned up and went into his room. Everything, and I mean everything, had been lifted up off of the floor, uh, off of the ground, flipped and turned around and dropped.
Shut the
His
fuck up.
his bed was all over the floor and his golf clubs were everywhere. We have no idea what to do, but we stuck it out for the last month and then moved the heck out. I never did any research, mostly because the apartment complexes wouldn't tell us anything, anyways. I set up cameras and multiple times, but nothing showed up on video. The activities were very random, so it was hard to choose a right night. And the complexes weren't built on any cemeteries, but we were really just 400 to 500 meters away from one. Since I moved out, I haven't had any ghostly experiences, and neither has my ex roommate who moved into a new apartment.
Nope.
The instinct to like look, so we have a document pulled up, but we also can see. the cameras in the lower right hand corner, and I was like, I gotta look behind me or I gotta look at the camera, but I didn't want to freak you out. I didn't want to be like mid story and be like,
Oh, I hate that, Katie.
I
Well,
know.
at some point while you were talking, somebody like literally there's a sidewalk in front of my house, guys. Like people walk past my house all day. Somebody walked by, but it was like the process of them walking by, it scared the shit out of me. So I know when I watch this back, I'm gonna like there's gonna be a moment where I'm like, while
Looking
you're
up.
talking, and I just like did one of these. I was like and just kept listening.
I hate that. I
This
hate
episode's
that
going really well for
so
us,
much.
guys.
I thought you were gonna say there was a moment when you were talking and I saw someone behind you, and I was like, is this a
No.
horror film? Because I'm scared. I'm like, is my door locked? My door's locked. Okay.
I was like, is my door locked? Yeah, it is.
Is your
Okay.
door locked? Okay.
This is going really
Holy
well.
shit. This is like Paranormal Activity 10.
Ugh, the
I know.
worst.
I know how you feel about these movies.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to start mine. It says, this happened a little over 30 years ago, but I still think about it from time to time. I was in college, renting a pretty rundown bungalow with a roommate. Sometimes at night, I would get the feeling that I was being watched, particularly something watching from outside the small kitchen window. It wasn't just a watchful feeling, but creepy, almost malevolent. I would almost, oh my God, my cat just jumped up on the table. Peaches.
Peaches, not now.
Sorry,
She's
guys.
fucking shit up.
Look at her. She's like, I'm coming to say hi. Say
She's
hi,
like, I'll
Peach.
keep the ghost aways. Hi,
No, she
Peach
won't.
Each.
Don't put your butt on display for free. That's crazy.
No buttholes for
Okay.
free, guys.
Anyways. Okay, I'm just gonna try and tell the story with her, just doing whatever she wants.
Okay.
I would almost run from the bathroom to my bedroom at night. I never mentioned these feelings to my roommate, thought about it might just be my imagination running away with me. One Friday night, a friend was hanging out with me and my roommate. We were having a few drinks, playing cards. Out of the blue, my roommate looks at me and blurts out, do you ever get a feeling that you're being watched? Like this might be haunted? I was a bit stunned, so it's not just me. I said that I got that feeling too, and that I would almost run from the bathroom to my bedroom at night. Peaches, oh my goodness. And it says, a few weeks later, I was in my bedroom one night, just laying in bed by candlelight. First of all, classy.
Love that.
It was winter, so my bedroom window was shut, as was my bedroom door. There were no drafts or breeze coming into my bedroom. The candle flame didn't flicker or sputter. It just went out, like it had been snuffed out.
I hate that.
That freaked me out a little, so I turned on my bedside lamp. The light bulb came on for a second, made a bit of a pop noise, and then went out.
Mm-mm.
Now I was pretty scared. I jumped up out of bed and went to open my bedroom door. The doorknob came off in my hand. Now I was terrified. My bedroom door was an old wooden door with a pane of glass in it, with a little curtain over the glass for some privacy. Without even thinking, I put my fist through the glass to reach around and open the door from the other side. I had to get out of that room now. Being a broke college student, my lamp was secondhand, so there could have been something that was a faulty connection. And the light bulbs do just burn out on their own. I had an issue before with the bedroom doorknob coming loose. At that moment, when my adrenaline was pretty high, I'm sure I yanked the doorknob with quite a bit of force. But the candle, the light bulb, and the doorknob, one after another, was absolutely terrifying. I moved out shortly after that. Several months later, I ran into my old roommate and came to find out that a small but quiet old graveyard hidden behind the overgrown shrubs and weeds was, it says kitty corner. Isn't that catty
I think they
corner?
mean catty corner.
Catty
Yeah.
corner from the bungalow. True story, paranormal. I'm convinced there's more than it just wonky lamp and loose doorknobs.
I would have done the exact same thing. My fist right through that glass, okay? Survival
So
instinct. Immediate.
growing up, my dad's house had really old wooden doors with like the glass doorknobs that you like, the antique
Mm-hmm.
doorknobs.
Yeah, I
I
have one of
fucking
those.
hated those because
Oh,
when I was a kid, it would fall off all the time and like land on the carpet, and then I couldn't get out of my
mm-hmm.
room.
No,
And
Grace, you're scaring me.
sorry,
I never close my door, so I'll be okay. But I'm like, oh, I'm scared. What if my doorknob comes off tonight? I'm texting. I'm calling you.
I know you'll have to call me 3 times to get through my do not disturb.
I know.
Oh God.
Oh, I hate that.
Yep, this is a great episode for us.
It is. This is our last story, but it's a little bit long.
Okay.
This year, I'm living in a dorm room at a big university, avoiding using the name, with a roommate. In the room, both sides of the room are identical. So we each have a walk in closet, fancy, About 2 feet from the door of the closet is our desks, which is pushed up against the end of our lofted beds.
Ooh,
On the other
nice.
side of our beds are 4 shelves, but they're pretty hard to reach as you have to move your arm through the bed frame. You can only reach the top shelf if you're in the bed, as it is above the bed frame. I keep a fan on this that we use at night, like a white noise machine. And if I sit at my desk, I can clearly see underneath my roommate's bed and on top of her bed. She can see above and below my bed clearly from her desk. The desks are also our ladders into our lofted beds, so we can't see under our own bed from our desk. Does that make sense to everybody? It's a
Makes
lot
sense
of
to me.
moving parts. Okay.
Yeah.
They can see under each other's beds, can't see under their own beds
Yeah.
when they're sitting at their desk. Over the first few weeks, my roommate and I noticed that things not being where we left them. We dismissed this, assuming we moved it and forgot, and sometimes we would make jokes that a ghost moved to them. One day, both my roommate and I were sitting at our desks, and I was unable to find something. I was joking with my roommate about the ghost doing it. Only a second after saying that, I heard something hit the back of my desk. My roommate, completely terrified, said that a hot pad had just went flying off of my shelf and hit the back of my desk. I wasn't looking for a hot pad, but it kept me and my roommate from making any comments about the ghost for a few days.
We're like, we don't talk about her now.
Yes, yeah. Sometimes I got a very, very bad oppressive feeling and it comes and goes. Sometimes it happens while my roommate is with me, and other times it doesn't. I've never mentioned this to my roommate, so I'm not sure if she feels it too. She does mention the room being freezing cold at times when I find the room to be almost stuffy. On multiple occasions, my laptop has started to glitch, as in the cursor starts moving on its own, clicking and opening things even if I disable the mouse. Whenever this happens, my Word program and email always get opened up. The weird thing is that if I move my laptop off my desk, it stops instantly. Moving it back
What?
can sometimes start it again. More recently, I woke up to my roommate being really freaked out, but she refused to talk about anything until we were at lunch or outside of the dorm. She told me that she woke up at 7 a.m. to hear rustling and movement by my desk. She assumed that I was up early working on homework, but she looked over and saw a dark figure moving around by my desk, which she assumed was me. Both of us need glasses and contacts
Mood.
and keep both on our desks so we can really only make out general outlines while we're in bed. Not to mention our room is pretty dark without a light on, which makes things even harder. She tried to go back to sleep, but the noise continued. She could hear my fan, which I will forget to turn off in the mornings, and sat back up to tell me I left it on. At this point, she realized she couldn't make out the general outline in my bed, or that she could make out my general outline in my bed, but could still see a figure moving at my desk. She promptly threw the blanket over her head, this is you, and refused to get
Me.
refused to get up until after I did. I slept until 8:30 that morning, so it definitely wasn't me. The only door to our room was still locked, and when we got up, so it doesn't seem like anyone could have walked in. We're
Yeah, that's what
also
I was
on.
guessing.
This is scarifying. This is terrifying.
New word. New word.
Scarifying. Um,
Okay.
whew. Okay, we're so close to being done. Um, I lost my place. Okay. We're also on the fourth floor with a locked window, so there's no way that anyone entered through the window. But personally, I have never seen anything in our room, I assume, because it says the
Yeah.
closet. I've come to seeing something is once after getting into bed. I was moving the covers around. My roommate was in her night class, and I was definitely alone in the room. I felt the oppressive feeling again as if it was right next to me, but was ignoring it. As I moved a blanket near the edge of the bed, right in the middle of the room, I felt a cold hand grab onto my wrist. I jerked and freed myself with this action and saw no hand or anyone by the bed. I immediately threw my arm under the covers and turned away from the
Yep.
edge of my bed so that my face was right up against the wall.
Feel
The,
that.
the feeling stayed that way, and I couldn't shake the feeling of a presence standing right by my bed, watching me. The presence seemed to leave just minutes before my roommate returned, and I never told her what happened, though, so I can't say if she's had a similar experience. But seeing as she told me that about seeing the dark figure, I imagined she would tell me. Not sure if the entity is focused solely in our room, the floor, or the whole building. The building is newer, so I doubt anyone died here. According to Grace, this happens all the time, so who knows? um, I'm also not sure if the entity is something I brought from my own home here. Scary. It seems focused more on me. As the hot pad was mine, it's only messed with my laptop. It grabbed me, and it was seen moving around my desk. But I have told my roommate about some of my ghost encounters before while we were in the room, so that might be why it's focused on me. I doubt it's more focused on me about jokes of it was the ghost, as my roommate makes the same jokes far more than I do. And I've stopped completely now. I can't speak for certain about items being moved around because I'm not sure what's been moved by us and forgotten or what has been moved by the ghosts. But if anything else happens, I will make a post about it.
No.
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
mean, so I said I was going to bring this up towards the end anyways, but basically whenever I was in college, I lived with several girls like in an apartment during my junior and senior year, and we thought we had a ghost named Daniel, and Daniel has now become my bestie, and we believe
Hmm.
that he's moved with me, and he's super friendly, super chill. But I remember instances like this where we like if Mackenzie was out at work or she was out seeing her boyfriend or something and I was in my bed, we shared a room, and like something would happen, and what I would do is just put the covers over my head and turn my head and not worry about it again. Why are you looking into the distance?
There's sound.
What
I
sound
don't
is it?
know. It sounds like something like clicking.
Oh, it might just be like
The
your
AC. Is
yeah.
I'm hoping. Okay,
Okay, anyways.
continue.
No, anyways, so what I was just gonna say is that like I had those experiences where I would literally just hide under the covers and be like, I can't see it, so it's not happening.
Yes. Yes, that
That's
is
how
your
I handle
go-to.
all of my fears.
Yes, I love that.
You just don't look at it and then it's fine.
Amazing.
Yeah. Now you're all freaked out about
I'm
that sound.
scared. I'm
This is
like,
quite the episode.
all right,
Oh my god, my
everybody look
cat's
at the
coming back.
doorway.
Why are
That
we looking
way.
at the doorway?
So that we can see if something comes through it.
Something comes through and you're sitting. I can't do anything to help you.
I know, but at least I would know.
Oh god, I hate that. Hate this
I
concept.
know.
Thanks for that. Thanks
You're
so much.
welcome. Everybody
Jesus
ignore
Christ.
my mess.
Your
You
house is
weren't
not
supposed to
messy.
see this corner of my house. This is emergency circumstances. I'm
It
scared.
really is. Oh god. What went from being a short episode turned into like 50 minutes because we ramble
Whoops.
so much. And let me tell you guys, we're not cutting any of it.
Nope.
You get this. You're welcome.
Yep. I was like, this is like the good old days.
Oh, it is like the good old days where we were just like,
Right?
fuck it. No, but actually, this is a really good episode. I really enjoyed this one,
We needed it today.
even though I'm still scared of everything.
Oh,
But
I'm terrified. I'm for sure going to text you when I go to bed and be like, I'll
yeah, I
confirm if the
know.
doorknob is still there or not.
The door what?
The doorknob.
Oh, the doorknob.
I definitely
They
said
said-
nab, but I meant it's just that we could breeze right past that.
sorry, sorry,
And
sorry. Usually it's me pronouncing things weird.
you
I don't
know,
know what's happening. Katie's turning into me today.
we've
Oh
switched
God.
roles.
We really have. No, but I'll still do my role of ending this episode. But
Thank you so much.
thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, there's a couple ways to help us out. You could leave a review on Apple Podcasts, or you could give us some stars on Spotify. I hear a cat toy playing in the background
Yeah, it
now.
scared the shit out of me.
And then on top of that, if you want to tell us a story, if you have a ghost story, or if one of my roommates from college want to chime in on a story from about Daniel that I'm just blanking on right now, send us a message. You can do that on our social media, which is at waitforrealpod, P-O-D, or you can send us an email. The email is waitforrealpod@gmail.com. And if you want to help us financially in any way, we love cups of coffee. And there's a link in our show notes to send us or to buy us a cup of coffee. And there's also a link to send us a text. So you can message us that way. But tell us
Hmm.
who you are, because I don't think we'll be able to respond to you. Sorry.
Yeah, we can't, but we
Yeah.
love it anyways.
We do. We do indeed. And so now we're going to leave it with literally like my saying is very on par for today. But go ahead, Katie.
Yes, go to therapy.
And don't forget to leave the lights
I'm like,
on.
wait,
But actually, don't forget to leave the lights on tonight. Spooky.
seriously.